Well, welcome to today's episode. Today we're joined by Lara Hamilton. Lara is a property management IT expert with over 15 years of experience helping leaders simplify technology, scale support across multiple properties, and stay compliant with HUD and low-income housing tax credit housing requirements. So Lara is the director of IT services at Desk Realty, where she leads a team supporting more than 1,400 property management users. She works at the intersection of IT, operations, and compliance, making complex systems more human-centered, practical, and secure. Lara's mission is to help property teams feel confident with their tools, reduce daily friction, and turn technology into an advantage that strengthens staff, promotes communities, and gives leaders peace of mind. So, Lara, welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Well, thanks for being here. And for those of you just joining the podcast, we at Strativa AI help businesses scale their revenue over 12 months using AI. So if you'd like to learn how to take your business to the next level, make sure to stick around for future episodes. And if you're interested in a free growth consultation, just drop the word growth into the DMs. So now, Lara, can you tell us some more about Help Desk Realty and what you're working on these days?
Sure, absolutely. So one of the things that we do is we help. So we do IT work, but it's not just IT work for us. We take it very personally. Something as simple as fixing a printer for someone can mean the difference between someone being homeless or not that evening if they can't get that lease signed. So yes, we do normal IT work. We do firewall configurations and fixing printers, fixing computers, and all the things that go on in a normal IT setting. But the significance of what we do has a huge impact on the communities that we support all across the country.
Yeah, and we touched on that a little bit at the beginning there. And so how does that scale? How do you kind of operate within the scale of your services?
Well, one of the things that we do is we have a really strong team of people here that understand the impact of what they're doing every day. They are very dedicated to all of our clients that support their communities across the country, and they want to make sure that everything is working and that all the tools that we're providing. Someone at a property level, they're using those tools as just a small portion of their day, but that small portion can be a huge hiccup if it's not working seamlessly, if it's not configuring the certifications properly. All the things that go into their daily tasks have to run smoothly, and that's where we come in and make sure that that's happening without them having any of those hiccups.
I see. And so you mentioned your support team. So you're supporting about 1,400 users, the property management users. And of course, they represent a lot more people than that are in all of the housing situations. And then, but backing up, how big is your team in order to support that many users?
So we have two separate departments within our department. One is software support, where we support property management software that holds all of that compliance information. It pulls information off of the HUD website to make sure that the tax credit and HUD income limits are maintained because those change every year. We make sure that the certifications help enter those timely, things like that. And that division has 3 people right now that are the main key people that help do that. We also have a hardware team that integrates with software, making sure check scanners are set up properly and work correctly with the software, that all of the PCs are kept up to standards and are secure, keeping their network secure. And that team is 5 users. We also have some users that are outsourced that work directly in corporate offices of various companies that maintain their entire network. And there's 3 of those people.
Interesting. Okay. And then, so on the hardware side, is some of your product and service delivery with specific, unique types of hardware, or can the property management users have any sort of hardware?
So no, they can't have any type of hardware. We try to keep a standard of equipment that will work to the levels they need. So, for example, an accountant might need a more robust computer than someone that's a leasing agent. because that accountant is
Sure.
sitting in front of that computer every day, all day working, and that they really use that computer as their main source of productivity. A leasing agent is using that as a tool to a means to an end. They're also walking units. They're dealing with resident issues that might come up, things like that. So they're walking away from that desk. They're not stuck in front of that desk all day long. So their
Yeah.
need may be a little different. So we have a
Yeah.
standard that we recommend based off the need of the client.
Got it. Okay, very good. And then so you mentioned a little bit about compliance and in regards to the like security of all of the information that you guys are coming in contact with every day, what does that look like? Like what's the cybersecurity aspect of it?
So there's various things that we deal with that. So one thing is the property management software does a really good job of using dual authentication, things like that. They have a lot of security measures in place to house that information. They mask social security numbers, things like that, so that those things don't get out into the world, right? But there's always the ability to export reports. Where do you store your data? All those other things. And so one of the things that we like to recommend is that companies, and this goes for other companies as well, not just property management, but that they use things like that are in a secure environment, like their SharePoint, where you can set up permissions based off folders and things like that, so that you might have a lot of financial information. You don't want everybody in the company to access that. So you want that permission based just on who's relevant to that department and who would need access to that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. And how has AI affected your guys' services these days?
Well, AI is a great tool. One of the things that we do advise people on with AI is use AI as a tool to help your employees. It can make them more productive. You can use AI to do things that might take you all day to create a report, and you can use AI to do that in just maybe 20 minutes. And so it can make your employees more productive, but it's really not a replacement for people. You
Mm-hmm.
can't really replace that hands-on touch. An example of what I mean is when you call us, you're going to get a live person. You're not going to get a machine. So that's one of the things that we like to keep personal is that personal touch. But with that being said, some of the AI that's out there, is great to use, but you have to make sure you are understanding that some of these things, especially in a property management environment, can be used in court. So let's say you have a Read AI, you're using that for to document your conference calls. You've got a lot of calls every day. You don't want to forget something.
Right.
It's creating that summary for you, and it's great. It's a great tool to use. But that's going directly to your email. If your email are deposed in court for any reason, all of that information is now right there for the courts to use. So it's just a cautionary tale type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I love those cautionary tales and kind of like the lessons learned and hoping that the audience is able to derive some sort of aha moments or something, right? And so
Right.
can you think of any without getting specific, can you think of any times where something to do with the AI has given you guys challenges or setbacks that you overcame? And what were some lessons learned around that?
Well, I will say this, and I know everyone's used ChatGPT, right? That's one of
Yeah,
the big
sure.
the big things to use. Well, the owner of our company actually used ChatGPT, and he was putting in some information and asking it to create a summary, and it created an acronym similar to LIHTC as an acronym for Low Income Housing Tax Credit, right? And
Yeah.
the acronym, he didn't know what it meant. What does this mean? Well, the Chat GPT actually said, well, I made that up. And he was like, why did you make that up? Well, it sounded like it went with what you were talking about. So
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
it really did.
That
So
is
it was
a
like,
solid hallucination.
I know it really was. So it was a situation where, okay, yes, this tool is great to use, but make sure you're reading through it. Make sure you're checking it for accuracy because it's a machine and it's only as good as the information put into it.
Yeah. 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 And so it sounds as though your guys' processes are kind of in parallel with using AI somewhat, but that there's not AI that's embedded within the software doing things. Is that correct in
Well,
my understanding?
that's not correct. So let's talk about the
Yeah, let's hear
software.
about it.
So the software that is used for property management companies, they do have some AI built into it.
Okay.
And that type of thing would be if you want to send out a text message to all of your residents and you want to word it a certain way. And you can say, well, let's make this a little more harsh. I want to make sure that my late notices are sent out with a little harsher or wording,
Yeah,
or
they want to
let's make
get
this
it.
a little softer. Yeah, they
Right.
want to get it, or maybe they want to be a little more tender about it. So
Yeah.
you can use it that way. But also something we're doing as a company is we're creating an internal AI database for some of our clients where we pull in their proprietary information that you don't want to put out in a chat GPT environment. You don't want to put it out there for the public
Hmm.
and allow them to use that internally only to create documents for whatever it is that they want it to do. If they want it to be a receptionist for their front desk, we can do it. We can do that. So those are some of the things that we're actually doing as a company to pull in that information. You can use your SharePoint, for example. If you use Copilot, you can use Copilot to search through your SharePoint if that's where your documents are located. So there's some things that are built in that are AI related that you can use. But also, like for us as a company, we're building an individual AI database for clients so that they can have that and not have to go out into the world and risk their information being put out there.
Okay, so you're layering that in as a product offering, basically? Unique,
Yes,
customized AIs?
that's correct.
Yeah, nice. That's great. And is that something that you're building out currently, or have some customers implemented anything yet?
We are actually building it out right now for a client.
Exciting. Yeah, when's your
Yeah.
rollout expected?
You know what? I'm not the programmer.
Right. Okay.
I don't have the dead date on that, but it is soon. Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. And have you seen any like primary obstacles that you've faced when you're trying to scale these AI solutions? I know it's at the kind of forward, beginning stages of it.
Yeah.
And so like what are you doing to like get the resources or the support that are needed to achieve the level of the AI's product that you're desiring?
Well, I think that the main thing is knowledge of the client and what their expectations are. You don't want to start and just, okay, well, we want everything in there because
Yeah.
that's not realistic. You want to start with a goal. What is the main goal that you want to see that AI can do for you? And let's achieve that goal. And then let's build on that so that you're building on the database of knowledge. You
Hmm.
can pull information from their intranet or their internet.
Yeah.
I say intranet, their internal internet or their external one.
Yeah.
You could pull information from their SharePoint or from reports, things like that. But have a basic goal of what's the most important thing that you want to achieve with your employees that would benefit you, or with your residents if you want to do it something that's external,
Hmm.
and then build on that foundation.
Hmm. And then, so it sounds like, Laura, you've got this product rollout, which is fantastic. A lot of the guests that I have on this have some sort of a combination of either a product that people are putting into place around AI, which you guys are developing, super exciting, or they use AI as some sort of a forward-facing tool that their clients interact with. And then finally, there's the internal processes that the company may use. And so you touched about how you've got the AI like assistants in using GPT and these things that you help just in your own workflows. And have you also built any internal AIs to help automate any processes within your company itself?
Not at this time. We have not done that yet. We are more because some of the things that we do not in our environment. They're in someone else's environment. So a lot of what we're doing is not it's not under our umbrella, if it makes sense. So I'm going
Got it.
into a client's environment and working on their SharePoint or working on their servers or in their software. So that's mostly what we do.
Right. Okay. Got it. Yeah. So how did you guys come up with that idea of the AI for the clients? Was it internal, or was it like some clients out there giving you repeated requests or problems that they were facing? What's your journey been like there?
So it was really a fun journey, actually. We were in a meeting and some questions were coming up from a client about, well, these are some things I'd like to accomplish. And we were like, well, I think AI might take you there. Let's go down this path. Let's talk about AI and how this is going to help you. And then it just kind of went from there. I mean, we are an IT company, so we have programmers, we have people that this is what we do, right? We love it. We're just,
Yeah.
we're dorky like that. It's fun.
That's
It's
great.
exciting. Anything
It
new that
is.
comes up.
It's like such an opportunity for all of us to just get creative on things and solve
Yes.
problems and think differently. I say this often, and I'm going to repeat myself here. It's a chance for us, in my opinion, to do the cognitive upgrade and to put more output because of it. And so for me, I like to encourage people to use it for its efficiencies, and then you're able to turn around and have more kind of rejuvenative time so that you're able to spend more time with your family or friends, right? And so when you're coming back
Yes.
to work, then you're kind of like recharged and that much more
Yes.
invested. Or, of course, the invitation is also to, because you've been more efficient at work, that you're able to do something more personalized in work, maybe with a customer, right? A potential client, or to do like the next thing that you didn't even think was possible because you've hit some efficiencies over here and now you're able to do more, but not to get to the point of like being totally still nose to the grindstone of like, okay, this is all
Right.
solved now, and I'm just going to stay in that like heavy work mode. So I think it's such a great opportunity for people to get creative, and as opposed to like the cognitive offloading where the case example is college kids that are using it to write their papers. And so they're actually not thinking about things and processing things and just using it to like get by with things.
Right. Right. I look at AI the same way I look at a calculator or going from DOS to graphical. It is something that it's a change and it is different. It doesn't mean it's bad or that it's got these negative connotations. When people started using calculators all the time, oh, well, nobody's going to know how to add or subtract. Well, they do. They still do. Some people can't, but for the most
Right.
part, you can. But, and you can use Excel to do those things as well. So I think that AI is just another level up. Uh, but I think everybody should have a work-life balance, and I think it's going to give that opportunity. You said something about working really hard, and I think sometimes we get trapped in that mindset of nose to the grindstone, work, 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 and that is
Yeah.
great. It's a great work ethic, but at the same time, we all want to live a long life, right?
Right.
And so we want to live it to be productive, but at the same time, quality, have a good quality of it too.
I
And
couldn't
I think
agree more.
our employees make better employees when they're not
Yeah.
just constantly being hammered.
Yeah. They're happier. And so they're giving better output. They're more loyal to the company. The interpersonal, business relations can grow tighter and kind of like more supportive in the work environment because of it. So I love that. What do you see as, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, you can see the difference in an employee when you are constantly having to fix things and, fix issue, fix issue, fix issue versus mitigate issues before they happen and then be able to use your creative mind and come up with better processes, better ways. And you can lose that if all you're doing is constantly fixing things. And I
Yeah.
think AI gives us a little bit of that freedom.
Yeah. Yep. And how do you see the relationship between AI and human workers evolving, particularly in terms of like the way that they're going to be collaborating around specific job roles?
Well, I want to make it really clear that AI is only as good as the information put into it. So, it is not a real person. It is a database of information. Users will use that the same way they use the dictionary and encyclopedia or anything else. It's just there at their fingertips and it can create more and it can do more visual things. I think that it's going to be a nice balance, but I do think people are scared sometimes of it and they think about the Terminator and things like that, and
Yeah. End of
But I
day
don't see it
stuff.
going. Yeah, yeah, I don't see it going that way.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you say to businesses that may be at all hesitant to adopt the AI?
I mean, I understand hesitation and I think it's a good thing. I think you should think through before you implement something like this. Think through security protocol, policies for your employees. You don't want people going out into the open AI and putting in proprietary information. I think that's important. But at the same time, embracing it because it is the next thing. It is the next level of technology. And people don't realize how much you use it every day without even knowing you're using it. On your
Yeah.
cell phone, you're using it. If you're on Facebook, you're using it. So it's already there. So, it's nothing to be afraid of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what are you guys doing in using it in helping to grow Help Desk Realty?
Well, for one, we're building it, right?
Yeah,
I
you're
think
building it
that's
for your customers, you mean that piece?
building building it for our customers. Yeah. So that'll help us for sure. Also, we're using it more to provide better reporting for our clients,
Nice.
pulling in information where we can provide clear graphical information on their databases, things like that. So that's some of the ways that we're using it.
Sure, sure. Fantastic. Great. And how can people find more about Help Desk Realty online, Lara?
You could go to our website, helpdeskrealty.com or eresources.com.
Or eresources.com?
Yes, yes.
What is that one? What's that all about?
So we are a department of eResources. eResources are, as a company, we have all kinds of. We have a marketing department. We have a digital department that does programming, things like that. We have IT on demand that does MSP for all kinds of companies, any kind of company you can think of, and we can do
Okay.
these same things for anyone, for a medical facility, for a church. We can build your websites. We can do anything you want, anything
Nice.
IT related.
Okay, got it. So you're a department of that? Is that the
Yes,
scoop?
that's
Got
correct.
it. Okay. And so eResources, how big is eResources?
We have about 80 employees across the company, and it's
Nice.
across the country.
Got
My
it. Okay.
location, my headquarters is in Memphis, Tennessee. Our main headquarters is in Ocala, Florida, and then we have subsidiary departments and offices in Virginia and Detroit, Michigan, different places across the country, Washington State.
Nice, nice. And so, yeah, I'm sure there's a much larger piece of AI being used all throughout eResources then, huh?
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah, great, exciting. Well, I'm glad that you shared that at the end there. I had forgotten that you were kind of a department within another company. So that's great that you shared that.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, well, thanks so much for hopping on the show here. I'm sure that everyone's learned a ton. I certainly have. It's so exciting that you guys are rolling out that new product. I'd be really interested to hear, some success stories about how it goes.
All right. Well, I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, please do. Okay. Thanks so much.